Okay, and that's all for this video. The next video I'll focus on filtering and sorting your data. Hi, Vera Cabero again, and this is third in the Google Forms and Sheets Amateur series. In this in this video, I'll continue giving you some tips on working with forms. I'm going to focus on data validation in this video, and this is a sample form that I have up here in the live version, and I'm just going to show you what data validation looks like on the respondents end. And I've used several different forms of it, several different types. So I'm going to go through the first one here is a Gmail address, or I've asked for a Gmail address, and there is a way to validate to make sure that they're giving you an actual email address. So if I, for example, put in only a partial email address and try to go to the next question, it's going to tell me that I need a valid email address. So if I go back up here and put my whole email address in, then go to the next question, and it accepts it. So that's a way to make sure if you are collecting email addresses, you want to make sure that they're valid because you probably intend to use them. So that is under data validation. The next one that I have that requires data validation is this one. And the question is, what is a word that uses the stem viv, meaning live? And I've set up a validation that the answer must require the letters VIV. So if I were an absent-minded student, maybe I'm thinking of the word lively, and try to enter it, it's going to tell me that it must contain viv. So if I go back up here and I change it to vivisection, then it is acceptable because it contains those three letters. The next one, there are several ways of setting up validation for numbers, and this one I have given an example of a whole number. So if I try to give a fraction, for example, and try to go on to the next, it's going to tell me I have to give a whole number. So if I go back and give a whole number, then it accepts it. So this is a text one. Both of these are text, and this one requires numbers. And also you can click through the numbers here. It shows you those little arrow boxes if you choose numbers. This one is a checkbox question, and the data validation I set up for it is to choose exactly three answers. You can have choose less than or more than or exactly. So I'm going to choose only one answer, and it's going to tell me I have to select three. So I'm going to go back and choose my three, and then it accepts it. Okay, so those are a few different types of data validation, and that's how it looks like in the actual finished form. But now I'm going to take a second and show you how to set up those questions in the edit mode. Okay, here we are now. I'm back on the edit mode of my form, and I'm going to go into and edit these questions that I have set up validation and show you how it's done. First of all, I'm on the Gmail address question. If I click edit, as you can see, some of the questions have this advanced settings option beneath them. Some question types do not, and therefore you can't use data validation with them. But I'm using a text box now, and text boxes do have that option as well as paragraph text. Paragraph text lets you set a minimum number of characters or a maximum number of characters as well. But for this one, for the text box, I'm going to click Advanced Settings. You have to click Data Validation. Then you have to choose a number or text or a regular expression. And I choose text. And then you can choose contains, like contains a certain word. That's what I did with the vivisection question or the viv question. I said it had to contain those letters. It does not contain, you could do the same thing. You know, you could say it cannot contain a certain word or a group of words. You can collect an email address, which is what I've done, or you can require a URL. And this is a great way to have students turn in projects for which they can give you a URL, such as a Google Doc, a Google presentation, any kind of Google apps application allows you to get a URL of even if it's an image or a drawing. And also things like WeVideo productions, all of those you can have them submit the finished URL to you, get a spreadsheet full of all those URLs and just be able to get to them quickly rather than having students log in and out. And that would be a way to validate to make sure they give you a correct URL as well. Okay, so that's the text validation. And the next one I'm going to show you is down here where I use the number. Get an example of a number, and that was also a text question. So I have the same choices except for this time I chose number. Okay, so I chose number there, and then here you can have greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, not equal to, between, not between, is a number or a whole number. And of course that time I chose whole number, but that gives you an idea of your other options. And then the next one is a checkbox question. Data validation on it is a little different. It is a number of choices that they have to select. So you can say select exactly 3 is what I did, or select at least or at most, so you can limit the number of choices that they check. And notice also this one has shuffle option order, and you will start seeing that soon if you haven't already. It is a rapid release feature, so some districts don't have it yet. But that's just as it says, it'll be multiple choice and a checkboxes or option to let you shuffle the order of the questions that they see. And so that should be coming up soon, and it's under advanced settings as well.